Welcome back. So whether it's the phi ratio or any of the geometries, if you're drawing them, you are shifting your reality. So here we go. So with your graph paper, there's a very specific measurement that we have to start with in order to get the whole phi to fit on the page. You want to start 14 cubes in from the left margin and 10 cubes down from the top margin. And it'll give you this little spot, and you want to draw a single cubic square. You don't have to draw that little line. I've simply drawn that to show you the next division that would happen if we were to go in with the phi ratio, but it gets too small. But I wanted to let you know that that's the next iteration. So once you've got that square, I wrote the equation down over here just for a fun reference, but you don't have to do that, obviously. Once you've got that original cube, you want to draw the next one to the left of that. And the positioning really matters because, again, we have to spiral and fit the design on the paper, right? So with the basic equation, this is 1 and 1, which is going to equal 2. So 1 cubic centimeter squared and another one. Next, we're going to add 1 cubic centimeter and another cubic centimeter, and that's going to give us the width of 2. So we're going to add the measurement of 1 cubic centimeter to 2 cubic centimeters together, and that's going to give us a width of 3 cubic centimeters. And you will start to get the pattern as we go. Initially, it's a little chunky, but just hang in there with the process. You're going to draw a 2 centimeter squared cube here. And once you've got that, we're going to build to the right, and we're going to add a 3 centimeter cubed squared to the previous width of 2 centimeters squared. And the 2 plus the 3 is going to give us the width of 5. So next we're going to be adding the width of 2 cubic centimeters and 3 cubic centimeters. So we're going to draw above that rectangle, we're going to draw a 5 cubic centimeter square, right? And that's going to give us now the previous 3 plus the 5, which is going to give us a measurement of 8 cubic centimeters. And I've just put these little wiggle numbers here. Don't worry about that unless you want to remember it. So next we're going to draw around counterclockwise to the left, and we're going to be adding 5 cubic centimeters width plus the measurement of 8 to give us 13 cubic centimeters squared total. So adding a 8 centimeter cube square onto the left of this rectangle, which is also called a golden rectangle because it contains the golden ratio, right? Representing harmonics, balance, and beauty. So once you've got this, we're going to add the width of 8 as well as 13, and that will give us 21. So building downward, we're going to add 13 cubic centimeters square to the pre-existing 8, right, using the external boundary for measurement. And that is going to give us the width of 21. And so now we will be looking for 13 plus 21, which is going to give us 34, an external width of 34. And you can see it continues to repeat this rectangular pattern, the golden rectangle. It recreates itself, and it's simply building on itself. We're not adding anything. We're just increasing by the same ratio again and again onto infinity. So the phi ratio will never come to an endpoint, whether you're collapsing inward or expanding outward. Now we're going to create the beautiful phi spiral that partners with this Fibonacci sequence. We're going to start, we've got these 2 original cubes, right? And we're going to start with this arc is a little hypothetical, right? It's not quite mathematically right. We just put it there for the purposes of continuity. But it would be a different arc if we were getting smaller. Just for the purpose of accuracy. So we're going to put the compass right in the center of those two initial cubes, and we're going to draw an arc, putting the compass point at the top vertical position of the cube, and then arcing down, dividing the cube, and we're going to keep building the squares by using internal compass points. I'll show you what I mean by that. So we've got one arc through that second cube. Now we're going to shift the compass point to the right, and we're going to continue the arc flowing down and across to the other corner. Now you want to line up the compass with the pre-existing arc. That gives a sense of continuity and flow versus like perhaps your compass point might be a little bit off and the arc isn't precisely from corner to corner. So just feel free to do that. Secondly, we're going to move around these internal points, and your compass point is going to go up here at the top left corner of the 3 cubic centimeter square. And you're going to draw the arc across and ending up at the opposites intersection. Now we're going to move the compass again on the next internal point of the rectangle, guiding us to the next arc from one corner to the other. Again, if you line up the arc initial point, it's just going to have a better flow than if the compass point is a little bit off. And then we're going to move to the next interior point, which is here, continuing the curve from one corner to the next. And then if you're tracking and it's making sense to you, the next point will be here, right? So compass point goes at this, oh, that's a large dot. Compass goes at this point, and the arc flows from the top down to the bottom. And then we will shift the compass point up to this top left interior point, and that will finish the spiral for this iteration. Obviously, you could go building on top, you could build another cube that would be the entire width of this shape that we have here, but we're limited by the 8.5 by 11 paper. So there you have both the Fibonacci sequence and the phi spiral and the complementary relationship between the two. Usually the first one is a little bit awkward. Once you get the idea of the pattern and you do it a second time, it's much easier. And of course, I would like to encourage practice and play. Hopefully I will see you in another module. Remember that the geometry is sacred because it calls into question the nature of consciousness. So blessings to you. Hope to see you again.